My dear elegant ladies, welcome to a new video. Ladies, I know the fall season is here now. It's very sad, isn't it? Or is it? Well, the reason why I'm saying this is because with these 10 items that I'm going to present to you, you're actually going to be excited that summer is finally over so that you can wear these amazing things because they are going to make you feel like your most elegant self, even if you have to be on a budget. But ladies, before we start with point number 1, I want to give you a little bit of a reminder to click that subscribe button because once you click that button, it's going to make you more elegant. So make sure you do that right now. Now, point number 1, I'm going to talk about a garment that I personally think is quite underrated. However, I see a lot of high value and many elegant women wear this specifically in fall. And ladies, I'm talking about the poncho, because the poncho is really a great garment to own for the fall season because it's very, very versatile. And especially if you get one that is either in black or cream or in camel color, then you know what? This poncho is gonna go with literally anything that you own. So I wouldn't say that it's perhaps, one of those really heavy winter duty coats, but I think it's still very appropriate for this transitional season. And investing in a piece that's cashmere or wool, it can also really carry into your winter wardrobe. I would say, however, though, do not wear those ponchos with, a bit of frill or fringe because they tend to, look a little bit less expensive. Next on the list is the wool trousers. And I bring up this point simply because I know that many ladies, they like to bring out their skinny jeans and leather pants during fall, and nothing wrong with that, but it's definitely not going to elevate your look because you're just gonna look like everyone else. So I really believe in the tailored trouser because if you wear it in a fabric that looks more polished, like wool, wool is a very kind of expensive fabric and it also looks expensive and it also keeps its structure and doesn't really crease easily. So I definitely recommend getting that maybe in bootleg or wide leg, and especially if you pair it with a pointy toe heel or boots, because it's going to really elongate your leg and it's really classy and it's really slimming. So make sure you get a trouser black, maybe white if you like to wear white trousers, or maybe any other color. Let your imagination go free with whatever color you want to wear. Now, next in line is something I doubt you expected me to put on today's list, but ladies, let me tell you about the long vest because it is amazing for layering in fall season. But I know many of you might be wondering well, how do we wear one? And I need to first and foremost tell you one thing, is that the long vest, it tends to carry a little bit of an androgynous and masculine energy, right? Which is important that you are aware of. However, it doesn't mean that it's now impossible to incorporate this in your elegant and feminine wardrobe. Not at all, ladies. Plus, don't forget that there are different elegant and feminine fashion style personalities, and you can find out which one you are by taking my free quiz that I have created for you. Go to stylepersonalityquiz.com and find out. Now, ladies, get therefore a long vest with a belt to create that kind of feminine shape, or maybe wear a vest over a dress or something like that, because that really creates the more feminine illusion. But of course, depending on weather conditions, you have to also think about, are you going to wear long sleeves, short sleeves, or sleeveless under your vest? All that is flexible, up to you, up to weather conditions. You can really play around with the long vest. Now, number 4 is a staple shoe that I believe all ladies need to have in their wardrobe. And that's a classic black boot with a pointy toe. And I actually just briefly mentioned it earlier today, but ideally I want this boot to have a little bit of a heel, so it's not a flat boot, but it doesn't necessarily need to be a stiletto heel, even though you can have that as well. Maybe you can have a shorter, more bulkier heel that you can actually use for everyday type of wardrobe. So why I like this shoe is because when the, pointy part points out underneath your trousers, it really gives you the illusion of longer legs. And you can also wear these type of boots with like A-line skirts or A-line dresses, and still it would look really suitable. And you don't necessarily have to go for black. You can also experiment with color. I said black because I believe that's the kind of first and foremost color we tend to start with when it comes to buying new footwear. Number 5. My dear elegant equestrian ladies. Well, okay, non-riders too. Listen up, because the beige skinny trouser, or any light colored trousers really, inside a riding boot is a really expensive and nice look for fall that I really don't want you to miss out on. Plus, it's very classic, it's very traditional, it's very elegant. Now, you don't actually have to go for a black boot by any means. You can go for brown, you can go for camel, you can go for gray, or even burgundy. There are many boots, that has different color variations, so just go for whatever color you want. But of course, then you might have to not go necessarily for a beige pant, but you can figure that out. I think generally speaking, maybe a lighter color of a trouser tucked into your riding boots are going to be such a nice look for fall. And also the beauty of this look, ladies, is the fact that you can walk around in this shoe, You can definitely have this outfit when you're running errands in town, or, when you go to the park and you drink your pumpkin spice latte. Sorry, but it's so cliche, and don't do that. Isn't that a bit too basic? Leave me a comment below and let me know if the pumpkin spice latte is too basic for fall. Number 6, colors like beige, cream, khaki. Neutrals in general, I guess. Ladies, this is a classic tip of mine, but I cannot repeat myself enough, because if you want to look basic, then wear mostly dark colors in fall and winter like every other Joe out there. But if you want to stand out and you want to look elevated and, a little bit different and elegant, then of course you need to not maybe go in that color scheme. That's why I really believe in the power of brightening up our colors. And neutrals are just so classic and so versatile, and always elevates any garment. You don't always have to spend a lot of money on garments. You can easily, go to even fast fashion stores, which I don't like, but and get things in those color schemes, and you're going to see that, wow, actually, this looks more expensive than it is. And that's simply because of the power of color. So I definitely think that, these colors suit everybody. If you're somebody who feel like, no, Anna, they wash me out. Okay. Don't maybe wear monochrome, but at least have some influences. It's definitely going to elevate your look. All I'm saying is that don't go the dark route that we always tend to do in fall, because that's what's going to make you look like every other person out there, and I don't think that's your goal. Number 7. The light colored trench. And usually we talk about the classic camel trench. Burberry is really well known for that. However, ladies, you can definitely find cheaper alternatives, because the trench coat has been replicated in all price categories at this point, and they actually don't necessarily look the price just because it's more affordable. But if you add a little trench coat together with the tip that I just gave you on light colors, bam, bam, what's gonna happen? Well, a light trench coat is going to be like this. It's gonna really elevate your look, and also wear it like with a nice little bag, with a nice pair of boots or heels or something like that, and you walk around town with your telephone, and people are gonna be like looking and thinking, ooh, who is this elegant lady? And you will be like, oh, I'm Anna Beige, elegant lady. Okay, ladies, I'm just joking, but I really do believe in this look. And especially when, fall is here, we might not want to do the whole winter heavy coat, and the trench coat is so perfect then, because it's still a fairly thin material, meaning that you don't have to go all in thickness coat, feeling like you're sweating and you're bulky and you're uncomfortable. The trench is really sophisticated in that sense. So it's also one of those staple pieces that you must invest at some point in one, whether it is today, tomorrow, or later, but at some point you will need one in your wardrobe. Number 8, the scarf. Now, scarf season is actually all year around, believe it or not, but the ultimate peak is during the fall, for sure. So now is really the time, ladies, to invest in those scarves, to get those extra layers of protection that is going to protect you against the cold, but also add a little cute accessory around your neck, because from a styling perspective, and of course a convenience perspective, the scarf is really, really useful. And and many tend to neglect it, I would say, because there is so much you can do with a scarf. You can wear it with a dress, you can wear it with underneath a shirt, which is something I personally like. You can wear it over a top, or over like this really plain top. Like maybe you want to add some color to your outfit, and make use of the scarf and do it this way. And one of the things that you really need to take into account with the scarf is that, of course, scarves comes in all sizes, well, mostly one shape, but in all kinds of sizes, okay? So the bigger scarves are, of course, more for, you know, covering up your outerwear, maybe wear it with your outerwear, but the smaller size scarves are the ones that you really need to start accessorizing with. You also have the twilly, that is really an accessory that you can definitely wear around your neck, as an example, not only around your bag, ladies, but definitely invest in scarves in different sizes, because that's going to give you variations. And try and also get different color palettes, because it gives accents to your outfit. If, let's say, today you want to have a bit of a red touch to your outfit, then you add a little red scarf, and maybe you also have a little red bag so they match a bit, or something like that. So that's to give you some ideas. Don't neglect the scarf this season. Now, speaking of shirts, it's actually point number 9 today, because I don't want you to neglect looking smart this winter only, you know, by starting to wear sweaters and bulky upperwear, you know, just because, you know, you want to wear long sleeves and be warm. But the thing is that shirts are long sleeves too, and I feel like they're the ultimate element to elevate any outfit. So for this reason, you should really wear more of them, and also in all kinds of different colors, not only in white. And as soon as you start feeling perhaps that, you know what, it's starting to get too cold for me just to wear a shirt, then use it as part of your layering process. Or even, you know what, get a base layer in your skin color that you just like wear underneath your shirt, and this way you can wear your shirt all year round and not feel cold. Now, last but not least, ladies. This one is probably a surprise for you, but I really wanted to bring it on, even though this is more like the elegant fashionista style. Don't forget to go to stylepersonalityquiz.com to find out which style personality you are. Now, ladies, I am here to present the culottes with the boots for you today. And the reason for that is because I think that it's such a kind of classic, elegant and also sophisticated look for fall. In particular for fall. If you have a look on some pictures right now, you're going to see, yes, actually, you're right, because this is something we perhaps not really gonna wear, I don't know, in spring, or definitely not summer, and now is boots weather. So really show off those boots, and you do that easily with a pair of culottes. Plus, what I like about the culottes as well is the fact that it kind of looks a bit like a skirt, you know? And then you wear it with a pair of boots that are poking underneath these culottes, and this boot has a little bit of a heel. Now, that's gonna make you look feminine, and it's gonna look like you have a skirt, a little bit of elongation going on, and it's just a suitable and very flattering look for fall. So don't miss on this one. Now, ladies, if you haven't watched the original video in my How to Look Expensive series, then make sure you hop on to that video straight after this one and watch it, because in that video I really have the fundamentals for how to look expensive on a budget, and I really don't want you to miss out on those crucial but basic essential tips that I'm sharing in that video. I will see you there.